This is Numbers with Nicole. We're continuing with our circle lesson here, and I'm going to do some model examples where we find the area of a sector of a circle. We're going to be given the central angle, we're going to be given a radius or a diameter, and we're going to use that information to find the area of the shaded region, or just a region. It doesn't have to be the shaded region, it's whatever they ask for. Okay. So we know we're going to be using the proportion method here. There is another way that you can do this, but most of the time when you have to solve or go the opposite way, which we will do later in the lesson, it becomes a little bit more complicated for some students, and the proportion is a lot easier for most people to solve because you have familiarity with that. So we're going to compare the part of the circle to the whole circle, or total circle. Okay, so I have 60 degrees out of 360, and I'm going to call this area shaded AS. So this area in here that I'm looking for is the shaded region, S for shaded, A subscript S. That's what I'm looking for. And it says leave in terms of pi, so again, we're not going to push our pi button in our calculation. So in order to finish this proportion here, I need the full area for the whole circle. I need this down here. What is this? Okay, well, that would be A equals pi r squared. All right, so pi times 4.5 squared. And I like to leave my answer in exact form until the very end. And here, since we are going to leave it in terms of pi, we are not going to press the pi button. So the whole circle has an area of 20.25 pi. Okay, and now since I'm solving for this unknown amount up here, I'm going to cross multiply these values. So what that means is I'm going to have 60 times 20.25 pi over 360, and that is going to equal the area shaded. Okay, so again, I'm not going to push pi because part of my answer, if I leave it in terms of pi, should have a pi in it. So 60 times 20.25, that's everything that's on top in that fraction, divided by 360, gives me 3.375 pi for the area shaded. And you could write that that decimal as a fraction, and we would have 27 over 8 pi, so that's also an acceptable answer if you are interested. So that's the first example. We're going to do another one. So again, we're finding the area of the shaded sector of a circle. If you want to try this one on your own before I go through the model, please do. You can always pause the video and do that. All right, so here we're going to find the area of the unshaded section or sector, which is this part over here. Okay, so that means I'm going to call this A sub U for unshaded. You can call it whatever you want. If you want to call it X, call it X. If that's what you're comfortable with, use what you're comfortable with. All right, so that means if I want the area of the unshaded, the whole circle is 360 degrees. The shaded area is 100 degrees, meaning the unshaded area has a central angle here of 260 degrees. There is more than one way to do this question. This is just the way that I'm going to go about doing it to keep our process the same. Okay, so we're going to have the part of the circle over the whole circle. Okay, we always want to be comparing similar things in our proportions, right? Comparing two values, two units. All right, so our part is 260 degrees out of 360 degrees. We are looking for our area unshaded, our A sub U. Okay, that's what we want to find. And again, we need our total area for the circle. So A equals pi r squared, and this is for the whole circle. So pi times 6 squared is 36 pi. And even though it says to round, we don't round until the very, very end. All right, so we're going to solve for that A sub U, that area of the unshaded region. So 260 times 36 pi over 360. And that will give me my area of the unshaded region. All right, so since it says to round and I'm on my final calculation, we're going to type all of this in. Times 36 pi. Right, that's everything in the top divided by 360. All right, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So we get 81.68 approximately. So 81.7 units squared.